Hello, Mary. Today we'll be talking about the flow of dimensions. And what does that mean? Well, it's pretty simple. You have a whole dimension, that is, the thing is in wholeness, and it begins with the singular and expands out and takes in the whole of it. And what is it? What is it that does this? And it's perception and awareness. That's where it begins, with perception. And we begin with a little dot. It's no different from the rest of the field that it's in. It's just that that's the point that you see. And it's singular. We will see as we move along that that little dot is really everywhere across the field. And that dot has, in and of itself, no dimensions. I mean, you can see it, but it's just a dot. So where is the measurement there? There isn't one. So there aren't any dimensions to it. You can't measure it. And then that singularity moves forward, and what you have is a situation where two things are the same thing. And it begins with length and with width. In a dream state, like when you're asleep and dreaming and you see, say, a grapefruit, right? And that grapefruit is also an elephant. And then you wake up and, what was that? You can't get it back. That's because we've developed out of the singular and are moving toward the dual in two dimensions. Now, what are we looking at here when you see that, the equal arm cross there? Imagine, if you would, you're looking at a cube. And one of the points of that cube, it's staring you right in the face. And at first, that's what you see, it's just that little dot. That's what that dot is. And then you get the arms coming out, and what you're seeing is the planes of that cube creating a lines of contrast rather. And so there you have it, a further development of that cube from a point to an equal armed cross. Then in the completion of two dimensions is just that. So there's no depth to it. And the depth comes in a three-dimensional consideration. And so you see this pattern here. And it can be like a geodesic design that you see here. And within that geodesic design, you can see little cubes in it. And they're everywhere in there. And it can fool the eye. You look at it one place and there's a cube, you look at it another place, there's a cube, look at it another place and the cube is upside down or to the side or something like that. Here we move from, you might say, a linear consideration, cause and effect, linear lines of length and width, to a resonance. And this is where we begin to take in the whole of the object or the situation, or the whole of experience would probably be a better way of putting it. Because all of this is consciousness, perception, awareness, and then experience. Packets of time in the resonance of the relative. Let's say you're in a car, driving along, okay? You're going to a stable destination, so you can draw an arrow coming out from the car to that destination. But you're also leaving a destination, let's say a house, and you're driving along. It's stable, so you can draw another arrow from the back of the car going to the place that you just left. So you're going in two directions at the same time. Then there's the directions coming from above and below the car, and that's also in constant flux. So what you have here is, due to that movement, you have a kind of a packet of time and of space. And that sets the stage for coming in to the whole of it. And we see that in the sphere with the latitude and longitude lines, and also a geodesic sphere. You can take it either way. And this creates a whole sphere. Started with a point, a equal arm cross, forming a diamond, which is the outline of the cube. Then it comes to a resonance, where that cube can be seen everywhere, all over. And then we go beyond the cube to the whole of the object represented by the sphere. And at first that sphere has markings on it. This can be thought of as empathetic energy. That is, you have objects that are on that sphere, markings you might say on that sphere, and they're all the same. You have two separate objects, but they are both the same. And those objects can appear everywhere and anywhere. In that is an effortlessness, an ease, and the wholeness begins to really come together. That wholeness can be found in everywhere. It's a matter of being loving, being kind, being a good person, and so on. But those markings on the sphere are still a product of the imagination. They're not actually there. And so we advance on to the whole of the sphere without any markings, and the mind can't grasp that. And then in the final knowing of the flow of dimensions, go beyond even wholeness to the oneness of realization, or the realization of oneness. I'll put it either way, because it doesn't matter. One way to understand this area is silence, complete silence. Another way of understanding it is a mother and a child especially in a primitive situation, primitive circumstances. There's the mother with the child, completely loving there on the part of the mother. She has a husband. That husband is there to take care of her and the child. And then there is the village or tribe around them. They also go into taking care of that child. There we go. They also go into taking care of that child. And the entire environment is needed to rear that child. Indeed, the entire universe. And it's all in oneness. It's all non-dual, non-linear, non-local. How many words can we come up with? So in this instance, in this illustration, I illustrated with the symbol Om. It can also be, as I said before, symbolized by a mother with child, Madonna and child, Isis and Horus, Kali and Ganesha, and on it goes. So those are the flow of the dimensions, from the singular to the flat dual, to the resonance of fully three-dimensional experience, to that wholeness, and then to the oneness here symbolized by Om and the mother and child. So there it is. This is the universe. This is your consciousness. And this is the development, you might say, evolution of consciousness. It takes place in a split second, and it takes place over a lifetime, it takes place over eons. And there it is.